Tonight's 3-hour wrestling show had 5 matches. That seems a little bit light. It seems a little bit stretched out. But the good news is the women main evented. And Bayley won in her hometown. And her opponent was Alexa Bliss. Well, as Meatloaf once said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But then again, Meatloaf ain't saying shit now. But he did have a different name. His name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. God, I need to rewatch that. Anyway, I'm John Recton with my review of WWE Raw from San Jose, California. Do you know the way to San Jose? La 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 la. Well, this show was certainly something, wasn't it? Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. They're putting the pieces together for Extreme Rules. At least nobody's going to lose an eye on this goddamn show. Ow, my eye. I'm not supposed to have ping pongs in it. Whew. God, that was fucking abysmal, wasn't it? And also, they're saying up stuff for Crown Jewel. More on that here in a little bit. The theme for Raw is ass. Absolute. Either put good rap in wrestling or don't have any rap at all. Stop. Don't do this anymore. Whoa, whoa, it's Seth Pheasant Franklin Rollins. He's going to burn it down. Given how hot it is in California most of the time, I don't really think he's going to have to try hard. You can't start a fire without a spark, but this gun ain't for hire because he's a dancer in the dark. Why not just throw out song references and have fun? So, Lashley gets a big pop. Lashley versus Seth Pheasant Rollins. I can't help it, because he wears a lot of feathery jackets, and also pheasants are funny. They're funny because they're called fucking pheasants. Have you ever seen a pheasant? They look weird. U.S. title match. Lashley ended up stopping the curb stomp. That's really hard to say by just saying, I'm thick and I'm going to stop this. He's going to use the power of his girthy thickness to stop another man from pounding him down. That's my kind of wrestling. Rollins targets the right arm after Lashley goes into the post. You know, you would think that people would just outsmart Lashley immediately because that's one spot he always does. And I love Bobby Lashley and I love Rollins. What fucking talents? Tremendous talents. Rollins has fought through injuries. Lashley looks like a fucking Adonis, despite the fact that, well, he's at least in his mid, I think he's 45, 46 by this point. Looks the same as he did in 2003. Whether in hands or not, I'm just saying, the man looks fucking incredible. And so, Rollins targets the right arm. We got 2 breaks within 10 minutes. Like, we interrupt this commercial break to go to another commercial break. That's my issue when it comes to WWE programming. They don't quite know how to stagger their shows still. I mean, I understand that the live crowds get to see, most of the matches, and we get to see what's on TV. I get it. You got advertisers. But they got to pace this shit better. So, it was well worked enough. The end result was going to be fucking obvious. We get a crossface. Oh no, Becky, take the kid and run. Hide your kid, hide your wife. Because they're out here crossfitting everybody. We get a pedigree catch for 2 shrieking Triple H Reign of Terror noises. And then the Hurt Lock, but the ref gets distracted. And he also gets topped by 2 men. It should have been moving on. Low blow. Oh no, not the low blow by Seth Pheasant Rollins. But then Riddle shows up. And then Rollins gets distracted. Then spear, 1, 2, 3. That was the obvious conclusion because of what happened last time. So, Extreme Rules match will be expected and will be confirmed later. Damage Control, they arrive in a limo. And then they drove on a golf cart. And there, hold on, lady driver coming through. And then they get a bunch of pyro. A ton of pyro. We don't have to worry about budget cuts anymore. Let's just launch all the pyro. So, they basically talk about all their stuff. They talk about winning tag titles. Bayley is going to call her shot and take on Bianca when she wants to. Io, fucking hell, good God. She's having a goddamn just great time. We are in control of the horizontal and the vertical. These are the pooter limits. I'm guaranteeing pretty much that no women are going to be watching my show by this point. Though I mean it with fun and with reverence and with love, it's still kind of just hilarious just to see how irritated people get by simple jokes. Here's Bianca, Asuka, and unfortunately Alexa. Look, 2 out of 3, as I said about Meatloaf, ain't bad, but good God, Alexa she tried to, bow up and everything. She tried to make fun of somebody acting like they're 10 feet tall when Alexa could walk under the goddamn bottom rope and not even have to duck. I get it. She's had injuries, and bless her for still trying. She shouldn't be doing this. She She isn't that good on the mic anymore. She's definitely not that good in the ring. More on that later. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just trying to set it up. So, she threatens to bite Bayley. There are some people that would pay good money to watch that. Fortunately, I am not one of these people that would pay to watch women bite each other. I am a clean individual, and if you believe that, you have not been paying attention at all. The QR code behind Theory. Oh, it's about a white rabbit, and it says 923. One of two things. It's going to either be more hype for Cross, or they're going to have Bray indicate that he's coming back. There are people that are fans of Bray, and that's fine. If he's happy to come back, that's fine. You know who doesn't care? I don't, because I feel that Bray did about everything he could. Yes, they cut him off at the knees multiple fucking times. The Firefly, the follow the buzzards guy, that got old. The Bray with the flesh apron, with the beefy curtainy goodness, back in 2018 when he looked like he was trying to be like Leatherface. That got old. And The Fiend, I'm sorry, got old because it's still Bray in a spooky mask. No, it's still the same Bray Wyatt, but he's got a mask on. But he's got a new mask. I want it. If you're a Simpsons fan, you are dying laughing in the comments. So, then we get Owens versus Theory. And Theory attacked him before the bell. And who's your daddy chance? And Owens says, I'm his daddy. Corbin to Miz, you're going to call me daddy. So they had their usual match. It's hard for me to care about Theory because he's not interesting. He's bland. I'm bored. He bores me. He can work. Apron bump. I wish Owens would stop taking those. He doesn't need to at this point. I mean, yeah, he's got his guaranteed money, but I would like to see him continue to wrestle for a while. I would also like him to not be in that much pain when he has the eventual commentary gig, which he should fucking have. So then Gargano shows up, distracts Theory, and we get the powerbomb 1, 2, 3. If it seems like I'm not analyzing these matches all that much, it's because they're there. Second straight distraction finish on a 5-match show. Yeah, Triple H may not be the genius that everybody thinks he is. The first one made sense, and this one sort of made sense, but Theory versus Gargano. Winner is forced to get a personality transplant. I think that's what the end result and stipulation should be. Riddle then talks about Priest and how they used to be cool and how they used to tag team others, and if you know, you know. Reigns versus Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. Can we tell the Crown Prince that Logan Paul's last name is actually Khashoggi? Because that would actually be beneficial. And then we would have one less Paul person to worry about. Make the parents watch. Anyway, this match, people say it's going to be good. Logan Paul, as far as in the ring, has over-delivered. I will give him that much credit. But this, yes, the Saudi Arabia shows don't fucking matter. But since it's on a Saturday, I'm going to be watching that on delay. I thought of actually taking the day off to watch the show. Sure, I'll take the show off, watch it live, and enjoy tweeting about it. Nah. If they're going to put Logan Paul in the fucking main event, it ain't worth it. It just ain't fucking worth it. I will watch it, but on delay. So, here's Ridge and Peter Dune. They talk about having a tag title shot. I did make a mistake at the end of my SmackDown review when I said Imperium won. I will now commit the act of Sudoku. But it was Ridge and Peter Dune. Then here are the Profits. Joy. I get to hear the Profits talk. The Profits, who are a great team in the ring, but their promos all sound the same, and I don't understand what they're saying. The Profits take on Peter Dune and Ridge, and the crowd goes mild. They did do a "This is awesome" chant way late in the match. And then Peter Dune violently fingers Montez. Hopefully, for Bianca's sake, he is ambidextrous. And then Dawkins gets pinned. Makes sense, considering that Ridge and Peter Dune are getting the tag title shot on Friday. And they will lose. Because the Usos are going to hold the tag titles probably until Mania, when Owens and Zayn eventually team up and win the tag titles. And then the tag titles still won't mean anything because tag team wrestling doesn't mean all that much even in Triple H's regime. Because it's going to take a lot of time to clear that up. Ray is talking to Sarah. Fucking Christ, Sarah looked great. I will never give up on my son. God, if only you could have encouraged him to do something else. Anything else other than plague every goddamn segment and match he was involved in. He tries, so did David Flair. And you know what David Flair tried to do? He tried to do something else other than wrestling after a few years. Riddle says, hey Ray, you ready to go out there and do something? I mean, he may have said other stuff, but I tend to tune Riddle out. Gargano is berated by Gable and Otis briefly. Owens shows up and they're having a tag match next week. Just pin Gable right at the beginning because Gable's going to take the pin. Because Gable doesn't mean anything, even though Gable's a tremendous athlete. They've had chance after chance after chance with Gable. He doesn't mean anything. They could take him away from Otis, or they could suddenly push Gable as a singles wrestler, and you know what it would matter? Nothing, because Gable doesn't mean anything. Everybody's just going to say, when's he going to get pinned? When's he going to get pinned? The Shorty G thing killed him. Absolutely killed him dead. They'll be in Edmonton next week. Quick question, why didn't they just stay in Canada for those... Whatever. I know they have to do this routing. Corey at one point saying about Dominic, you need to move on from your family. I've been married a couple of times. I know all about this. Yeah. Carmella might as well just get the divorce proceedings started right now. Because I don't think that's going to... I know that Corey claims he's playing a character, but the gospel truth of it is Corey is not half as good as he thinks he is on his best day. And even on his worst day... He couldn't even hold a candle, rather, on his best day, to Bobby Heenan and Jesse Ventura and even Art Donovan on their worst days. And Art Donovan only had one day. How much does this guy weigh? It was an actual thing they did at King of the Ring 1994. Corey Graves sucks on commentary. Rhea, my fucking goodness. Dominic got booed out of the building. People are like, oh, he's got such heat. This feels more like Eva Marie stuff, or like, other people that they didn't want to see on TV. Oh, the idea, Rhea's, banging Dominic, or Dominic's going to bang Rhea. I mean, we know who Rhea's actually banging, so it doesn't work. Dominic is not comfortable on the mic. He was rattled as fuck. Oh, he tried to do something, but goddamn. Maybe he got rid of that rat's nest on his goddamn head. No, I don't know. Went and did something other than fucking wrestle or talk on a wrestling program. God, Ray, could you have encouraged your kid to do literally anything else? God, at least Aaliyah knew to get out of the goddamn business. That whole thing with Buddy was abysmal. But Jesus, this segment was death. Fucking hell. God. Why? Why do they insist on Dominic? I know they're doing it as a favor to Ray. And this will eventually build to Ray versus Dominic at Mania. Which is fucking stupid. One, is too far away. Two... Is anybody going to really care? Dominic could beat Ray flat in 5 fucking minutes. Oh, God, I'm sorry, I love you. Beat his dad down. And you know what? Dominic's going to be in the same goddamn place because he's David Flair, Eric Watts, and David Sammartino, and every second-generation wrestling talent that failed because they just weren't cut out for it. That doesn't mean he can't do other shit. That doesn't mean he can't be successful in other ventures. Maybe he could act badly in bad horror movies. I mean, he already kind of looks like a horror movie villain as it is. You don't even need to fucking put makeup on him. The guy isn't good. He sucks. Why do they insist on putting Dominic on WWE television? Even if he had gone to NXT, it wouldn't have fucking worked. Maybe if the pandemic didn't hit, they would have put him on NXT. Then they could have put him in NXT 2.0, and he could have made Von fucking Wagner look good by comparison. Just, when you can make Von Wagner seem like the better of the two, that's saying something. They need to fucking cut ties with Dominic soon. I know that Ray's probably at the end of the road. As Boys to Men once said, now we've come to the end of the road. The stem cells can only carry him so far, and realistically, Ray should be able to get out while he can still work. While he can still do something, instead of getting to where he tries to do the 619 and it takes him 619 minutes to actually execute it. But maybe they need to just realize Dominic isn't worth it. He's not. I'm sure he's nice. He's not fucking good. And Rhea, bless her fucking heart, and bless everything else about her, but she cannot make this work. Priest yells about stuff. Finn should not cut promos. Bless him. He should not. He seems like a nice guy, but he cannot. I can't understand a goddamn thing. I can understand it more than St. Elbo's fire, that being said, but nevertheless. So, Rey and Riddle, I made you out of clay, took on Priest and Finn with Rhea and Dominic the Dimwit. That is now his new name. And this Judgment Ray feud will just not end. It's ass. It's not good. Maybe it's going to be Edge taking out Dominic at Mania. No, it won't be that. It'll be Ray versus Dominic. And to be in Riddle's position where Rhea jerked him around and pounded him down on the ground. God, it should have been me. Corey thirsting after Rhea. Again, Carmella should just get the divorce proceedings going now. Melee, and we get 619, but Rhea distracts, and then Priest pins, Pheasant Rollins shows up, and then gets chased. And then Rey should have hit Dominic. I mean, he could have hit him in the head and he wouldn't have knocked any sense into him, because if you take a look at Dominic, the lights are on but nobody's home. I mean, I think Jim Crockett now would actually have had a less deer in the headlights look, and he unfortunately passed away 2 years ago. So, nevertheless, Sim Snuka was better, and if anybody remembers who Sim fucking Snuka is, that's saying something. Tamina is better than Dominic, and Tamina spent more time on the injured list than, well, I would say just about half the NBA players these days. So, Finn pinned Rey, I believe. I stopped caring because Dominic was involved. So, Rollins and Riddle, they're going to have a fight pit match. Okay, they're bringing that back. You know what? Theory versus Riddle in the fight pit. That's pretty good. Let's see. Wait, no, Thatcher, not Theory. God, Theory being put in the fight pit and beat around actually would be better. Timothy Thatcher, apparently he's wrestling in pro wrestling, no one, whatever. I will dig myself out of this. And Miz, it's Miz TV where Loomis is going to be his guest. Ciampa's there in an outfit so bright that NASA astronauts in deep fucking space, as opposed to NASA astronauts that are in the deep Earth's core, fuck the movie The Core, by the way, they can see him and hear him and smell him because the outfit is so fucking loud. But Miz is saying Loomis broke into my house and everything, came in uninvited. You should have locked the door, you fucking idiot. And then Loomis cuts like a knife and then has to wait while Miz remembers to get over to the hole. And then he tries to drag him in there. Where was Ciampa? Did Ciampa take a coffee break? Because he eventually knees Loomis, and then Loomis eventually rises back up high. And this segment set wrestling back by 10 years. This was terrible. And it's not even the fault of anybody. I will blame Maurice for this, because they're going to involve Maurice in this. It's going to be a mixed tag match. And Maurice, in the ring, I don't care if she tries, is embarrassing by this point. So, this segment is the segment was stupid. It's bad. Creative should feel bad. I don't know why they're doing this stuff with Loomis. I'm thinking they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Then again, Triple H ain't the genius that anybody thinks he is. My opinion, so whatever. Riddle and Priest are going to have a match next week. While everybody watches on camera, through the peephole, in the shower. So, Judgment Day, they talk about next week. And Styles and Finn talk, and Styles is upset because he's in close proximity to the Judgment Day community. And then Jimmy Smith was actually quoted after Corey ranted and raved about Loomis. He went back into his hole, and it happens. When I say that about women, they slap me. So, a package on Alexa Bliss. God, the nightmares, they will not end. Bayley versus Alexa. Speaking of nightmares that will not end, Bayley had to carry Alexa sure tried and hit a few moves and then sold her knee. And I hope she actually was just selling and she wasn't really hurt. I really hope that she was just selling. But I did note at one point I need EO to berate me while I'm being choked, and I will be taking no further questions on this. We get a melee. Because, of course, we get a fucking melee. And then the Rose plan, 1, 2, 3. And then Bayley, Damage Control beats down Bianca or whatever. Oh no, it's a 3-on-1 beatdown like this. This one involves a queen. 31 years ago, it involved a king. So on that note, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. By the way, Bayley's going to take on EO. Bayley's going to take on Bianca at Extreme Rules. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.